익스팬드라는 게임입니다. 익스팬드 옆에 동영상을 보여드릴게요.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Johnson, the designer on Expand, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the core ideas behind our game. In Expand you play as a pink square, which you control by moving the left analog stick on a controller. You can also play the game on a keyboard, but we highly recommend playing on a controller. It just feels much more natural. The world in Expand uses a polar coordinate system to represent space, and the game has a reduced color palette, with black representing the walls that you can't move through, and white representing the free space that you can move through. Walls inside the world expand, shrink, and translate around. They peel back like a stage curtain, revealing where the player needs to move to next. The idea here is subtlety. We want players to understand where to go to next, without being too overt. The walls also act as obstacles that push the player around and prevent them from progressing. The early levels in the game are about moving around the walls as they block your way. If you're not careful though, these walls will squash you. This gets difficult as the walls move from all different directions. Many levels in the game are based on tracking the movement of the walls while you avoid being squashed by them. When squashed, the world resets itself by rotating around to where you were squashed. This breaks the cycle you see in most games, where a player will simply try to memorize the inputs required to pass through a level. Every time the world resets, it feels slightly different and breaks the pattern players build. The rotation also contributes to making the world feel a little bit unfamiliar, which is something that we're aiming for. Later, we introduce red walls, which, if touched, reset the world back to the last checkpoint. Similar to if you were squashed by the black walls. Several levels are then constructed around avoiding the red walls. In this level, for example, you are stuck inside a box in which the inner walls are all red. You must move through this level, keeping up, making sure you don't accidentally touch the red walls. It's also possible to directly tie the player's movement to the movement of the walls. For example, in this level, as the player moves clockwise, the red walls move counterclockwise. We can also shift the level based on the player's movement. This allows us to create much larger levels in which part of the level is displayed off-screen. In this example, we tie the player's radial movement to the radial position of the level. As they move away from the center, the world shrinks in, and as they move towards the center, the world expands out. It's also possible for us to mask out parts of the world. That is to say, that part of the world is only visible if within some boundary. In this level, we use masking to hide part of the level off screen. As you move clockwise, we rotate part of the level. This part of the level is masked, so you only show the walls between certain angles. Anything beyond that isn't shown. These are the core ideas that we use to make Expand. We're currently working on exploring these ideas and are hoping to release the game in November of this year. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you get a chance to play the game. If you have any questions or thoughts about it, then please don't hesitate to contact us.
사운드는 이미 발사가 끝났죠. 이 익스팬드 개발자는 아까 한 몇 시간 전까지 패시 빌드를 넘겨줄 만큼 굉장히 아로로 이벤트 행사에 적극적으로 참여를 해줬거든요. 꼭 한번 플레이 해보시길 바라겠습니다.